Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time for Ben. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or topics or anything in between, feel free to send them directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1986 film At Close Range, which sadly did not do much at the box office when it came out, but this is a fairly good drama that works well because of his two lead performers giving pretty damn powerhouse performances. I really like the way it ended. I love the music. The guy who did the music was Patrick Leonard, who actually worked with Madonna a lot. Because the film stars Sean Penn. Sean Penn and Madonna were an item at the time. They were together. That's why they did films like, was Shanghai Surprise together? Anyway, they're an item. So Madonna did a song for this film, Live to Tell, which honestly, I would probably say is my favorite Madonna song, because I'm not a big Madonna guy, but I like a couple of her songs. I think Live to Tell would be my favorite of hers. But there's also an instrumental version that Patrick Leonard does, because Patrick Leonard worked with Madonna a lot, either co-writing or producing a lot of her music. And I think he did a fantastic score. I love the score to this film. I think it's an essential piece. Love the score. If people were to ask me what's an underrated score, At Close Range would be on that list. I may forget it because I forget a lot of stuff, but that would be on the list. Now, it's directed by James Foley, who did Glengarry Glen Ross and Fear with Mark Wahlberg, which is two pretty solid movies. So he's definitely a capable director. Sean Penn is a guy who lives in poverty with his mom, his grandma, his half-brother, played by his real brother, Chris Penn, may he rest in peace. And he goes around with his friends, fucking with people. This guy owes him money, so he fucks with him because he stays on the guy's hood. What do you want? Give me the $5. So he's fucking around, but he's not hurting anybody. He's not terrorizing anybody. But, he's just fucking around being funny, but, he's not hurting anybody. He's a decent guy. And it's kind of fun in watching the film. You spot a lot of familiar faces. I mentioned Chris Penn, but of the buddies, Stephen Jeffries, who's Evil Ed in the original Fright Night. Crispin Glover, who was in Back to the Future. Which is crazy. This is after the Back to the Future. Like, Back to the Future was a huge film. And this is a very nothing part. And then Kiefer Sutherland. And don't expect a lot out of those three, because you see them, but they barely... It's cool to see them, but they barely have a part in the movie. That's the best way to put it. Like, they barely have dialogue, which I find strange. It does seem like a waste of some pretty damn decent actors. So, I guess that's one of the few issues I have, is like, you got Kiefer Sutherland. I know Kiefer Sutherland wasn't the Kiefer of... This is well before Young Guns and all these other movies, but still... I think by this point he had done Stand By Me, I believe. And he's a capable actor. And again, Crispin Glover had done Back to the Future, because that's 85, and this is 86. So they're good actors that just completely underused. So again, that's one of the few issues I have with the film. But one day, his father, that he hasn't seen in a while, stops by, and it's Christopher Walken, who is his criminal. And Christopher Walken is such a cold-blooded son of a bitch in this. He does a great job, and it's just so cold-blooded, you just hate this guy. You just completely hate this guy because of the... You can tell there's a guy that only cares about himself. He is the type of guy that would sell his kid for a bottle of whiskey. He don't give a shit. And it's kind of this sad thing where Sean Penn's getting to know his dad, and his dad seems like he likes him. Hey, it's a piece of shit, this car, but it's yours. I gotta see you got something. You're right here, between the legs. Now I'll give you a real present. Just a real scumbag of an evil father, Christopher Walken. But at first he seems nice, and Sean Penn's getting into this, doing tasks with his buddies to get some money, working with Walken. And then things take a turn where he sees his father in the gang, which includes a couple familiar faces like Tracy Walter, who was Conan's sidekick in Conan the Destroyer. He was in Batman 89 as Bob, one of the guys working with Joker. And he sees these guys murder someone. And then things really change after that. Where he's with this girl and he wants to leave. And Walter's like, well, what are you going to do? I can't do a Walken impression. You only know how to steal. And you're too fucking dumb to do that by yourself. And I think what makes the film work is that you have these two really good actors, Sean Penn and Christopher Walken, kind of playing tennis with each other. And you know something is going to snap. You know this is leading up to something that's going to be really bad news. And it does. And the idea of a father being so cold-blooded that when risking jail time, he's not going to give a fuck. And he does a lot of heinous shit. And then you get a pretty intense, small, dramatic finale. It's not a bells and whistles, balls to the walls action finale. But you know what? The way it's done here fit with the film. It did fit with the film. Because these two actors did their job so well that you want to see more of them and their kind of culmination on their breakdown of their father-son friend, the friendship that they never really had. And you just feel really bad for Sean Penn's character. I think it's one of his best roles. I really do. And then more into spoilers. When he starts killing Sean Penn's friends. Leads Crispin Glover and Stephen Jeffries to the middle of nowhere. Shoots them. Actually gets someone else to shoot him. And then Chris Penn, who is kind of one of the sons of Christopher Walken. And Chris Penn sadly goes, Dad, liar! And just shoots him. Point blank. Thinking he talked to the cops, that he did something. And he just didn't give a fuck. Rapes Sean Penn's girlfriend. Which he technically never finds that out. Because she never tells him. And then they both get shot in this car brutally, but Sean survives. I like what the director did with the up-close slow-mo shots of him washing the blood away and bandaging the wounds. Because the way I took that was, this is when he went from a boy to a man. Meaning, he's shedding his boy visage. He's now going to man up and he's going to confront Sean Penn's character. I wish there was a comeuppance to the other characters, because they're the ones who did the shooting, like Tracy Walter and such, but you never really see them get a comeuppance, whether getting killed, shot, or getting arrested. Because the only person I see arrested on trial is Christopher Walken. I'm like, well, what about his other gang? So if I have two issues, it's I wish the other gang of bad guys got some kind of comeuppance, whether again physically, or a beatdown, or wounded. Like Sean Penn comes in, wounds them in the legs or arms or something. Just something. Or again, just something about that. I think would have been... I would have appreciated that more. Like I said, the second thing is, like, Kiefer, he doesn't get killed, but he's there at the end with Sean Penn's family watching the proceedings, but it's like, man, he's a good actor. Man, they should have given him a lot more to do. That was a wasted opportunity. Maybe they didn't know who Kiefer really was, that he's a damn good actor. I'm like, you have this great actor, use him more. I can't remember a line of dialogue he said. I don't even know if he said a line of dialogue. Honestly. If he did, I don't remember, but he give him some moments. I imagine a wounded Sean Penn going up to Kiefer saying, I need your help. Give him the info that maybe they killed out, whatever info you can give them, and then maybe like Kiefer gets a gun and shoots some of them, or wounds some of them at least, or... That's what I mean. I'm fine with the way it ended because the two leads do a great job in the intense scene, but I'm just saying with the other... There's that part of me in the back of my head. What about the other guys? What about the other people in Walken's gang? At least see them get scared or get beaten up or just something. Just something. But like you said, these two actors did a great job. Christopher Walken, when he's driving around, when he's heard that these other younger kids been arrested, thinking maybe he's going to get told on. He's screaming, he's cursing, motherfucker. You just know that things are going to go up shit creek. And that's when the bad things start happening. And then you have a good confrontation. Don't you fucking move. This is the gun you used, huh? What, you want me to say I love you? Oh, yeah? Whoa, 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 don't. Oh, yeah, don't you fucking move. It just... Very intense, nicely done emotional moment between the two. Where Sean Penn makes the right decision and will make him burn in prison. Which would be a much worse fate for him. See, the music, the score, the very end of the film, spoiler, when he's on the stand and he's kind of like breaking down because he's got to admit that this guy who raped and killed his girlfriend, killed some of his friends, that this guy is his dad. So he's breaking down with all this stuff going on. He's my father. And then a freeze frame and that music, again, that music is... People don't understand that music is an important part of me when it comes to movies, that they can elicit such a great emotional response. They could be the great exclamation point on a scene, or a moment, or an action, or here like an ending. Like whether it be in Rocky, with that music at the end, or whether it be a bit here. I think sometimes filmmakers forget how important that is, which is a shame. But yeah, I think it's a very solid drama. I think it's one of Sean Penn's best acting performances. I think Christopher Walken is so deliciously evil as a scumbag who's cares about him and him alone. Damn good movie. Damn good flick. I even like the poster. The poster I think is simple, like father, like son, like hell. Yeah, they don't make a lot of movies like this anymore. And that's pretty fucking sad. That's why my brain freeze for a minute. But thank God we got, 18 superhero movies. I like a superhero movie occasionally, but not every other fucking week. Sometimes I like a movie like this. Just saying. you know, nice writing, solid performances, great musical score. Solid moments of just emotion that just make you feel for the characters. Sometimes that'd be nice to see. But, whatever. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.